I just wanted to make a proper video comparing these two cars. One is a 6S Outcast, and one is a car wearing the body from a 4S Outcast. What it is, it's a mud wrecker, Force RC mud wrecker, with the chassis from a Duratrax 835E buggy. I didn't hold back my disappointment for the Arrma 4S line at all. I mean, I had all three, Granite, Sentin, and Typhon, and I beat the heck out of them, but yeah, I went through drive shafts like crazy out of those three cars, and those were mostly running 3S. I mean, I wasn't fooling around with the ridiculous 6S metal drive shaft thing until I had the Granite for over a year, and I just decided that I wanted a little bit more out of that system or platform, but I kind of gave up on it. And when the 4S line came around, I really thought about getting it for about 5 seconds. 5 seconds later, I decided, yeah, I need to find the platform that can actually, run what I actually do with these cars. I mean, I bash the heck out of these things, and there is no way that a plastic drive shaft car can hold up to what I do. I've had the E-Revo and Slash and Stampede all had reiterations of plastic drive shafts at one point or another, and yeah, I owned the E-Revo for about a decade or so and pretty much trashed the heck out of it. So yeah, I'm done with plastic drive shafts for now, and that includes the Max. I'm not even gonna go there right now. I can't do it. So let me try to compare these two things. First, just what is this? Well, let's take off the body for one, and it gets even more confusing. Okay, so it has a BLX 200 in it with a regular BLX 2050 kV motor. The Arrma center diff, that lovely thing. These really should have came stock in their cars for the longest. And the chassis. Okay, I got interrupted there. Some guys decided to come along and mow on my bash spot. So let's start this again. Okay, the chassis on this thing is a little special. I have to cut it. Oh, okay, let's start here. This is the original chassis from the mud wrecker. This is a chassis from a Habao buggy. It's kind of familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, so I used the chassis from the Habao buggy on this. And this is the chassis from, I need to remember this. Oh, yeah, this is the 835B Nitro buggy chassis. This is the chassis that I used on the Creighton version. Yeah, you see I hacked the chassis to bits to shrink it a little bit so it actually have the wheelbase for the Outcast. The 835E chassis is what, $35? Yeah, like I'm going to buy a $35 chassis just to hack it to bits. So I managed to find the 835B chassis and make it work with the Creighton. So yeah, I tried it with this, and yeah, that was before I decided to hack the dirt cheap chassis that I got from the Habal buggy to bits. It would have probably worked too, well, chopping it up, but I had to do it Thomas P style. Well, I wanted to do it Thomas P style with the siren, but yeah, that didn't work. I got too many interferences with the shorter dog bones. Yeah, it does have an extreme angle, that first dog bone, but it still works. And the layout of this is pretty much just squeezing the heck out of all the insides of the chassis to make everything fit. The only problem with this is that on this side, the receiver box sticks out a bit. Just a bit. Not a lot. I thought about relocating it, but yeah, I will have to chop it up and move it where. I have no idea. So it can stay there. I mean, I've been, as you can see, I've been ran this car a couple of times and jumped it a bunch, and the receiver box is still sitting right where I left it. So yeah. So let's get on with the comparison before I get bored with this. As you can see, it's totally able to run 6S with the stuff that's in it. And here's my Outcast to compare it with. Yeah. Brothers from another mother. I mean, it's nearly the same width as the Outcast. The Outcast is probably like, what? About a ½ inch wider on each side. So that makes this about an inch wider than the actual 4S Outcast, which is great. I mean, it's more stable, and it needs to be. I mean, it's 6S. The regular 4S Outcast is only 4S. So you're dealing with 50% more power and a motor that can pretty much rip the thing to shreds if it starts to act up. So this is where I'm at with the thing right now. I mean, it's a monster. Can wheelie and do backflips and all that great Outcast stuff. And for a smaller Outcast, I need to figure out just what do I actually want to name the thing. I mean, I didn't call it. What did I call this thing? The Enforcer Outcast? Yeah. I mean, it does have the Force RC Mud Wrecker Death's arms and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much where it ends. So I think I'll call it the Enforcer Outcast, just for the heck of it. Easy enough. It's not split hairs. I mean, it's not an Outcast, but it's definitely something that should have existed. I mean, the Duratrax buggy's been around for what? Like 6-7 years? Duratrax been going under, I don't know how many times, and then came back. I don't know how many times. So, it is what it is. Just another mod. That's been a long time coming. And it definitely looks good. So without going into how many times I had to rethink of how to make this thing work. I'll just leave it at that. Leave it at the awesomeness of the results and bump the journey. So that's it.